Hello, welcome to my channel, everybody. My name is none of your business, but you can call me BizCoon for short. And here we are reacting to a video by Metatron. Apparently, he's very angry, and this is unacceptable, and that it's unacceptable. Now, as for what he's angry about, well, I looked at the first few seconds of this video and noticed that he was looking at the interview between Joe Rogan and Sahi Hawass. Whatever the case, apparently Metatron is very angry right now. Are we gonna see him go pedantic? Because whatever it is that he's angry about, it is unacceptable, as Lemon Grab from Adventure Time would put it. I would do the Lemon Grab voice, but I don't think this microphone that I'm using is good for that. And I think a Lemon Grab impression is best suited for another video. But for now, let's go ahead and get into it and see exactly what Metatron is angry about.
Alright guys, so I promised that I was going to tell you about something that happened behind the scene, and this is really incredible, but this is something that I feel like I want to bring your attention towards because it really has annoyed me and I kind of wanted to share it with you.
Is he going to talk about Sahi Hawass and his gatekeeping attitude? I guess we'll see.
Just to see where we're going and what we're working with. So I've recently made a video. I'm gonna go into my channel now very quickly, so we get a little behind the scenes. This is my channel. The video.
Oh, I thought he got demonetized because apparently something that whenever Metatron makes a video featuring any part of Joe Rogan's podcast, it often gets like demonetized and it's not publicly available, but he usually gets the videos in question reinstated after a day. Joe Rogan's team is usually very quick about that. He speculates that it's a bot that does the copyright claims, but whoever works with Joe Rogan is pretty good at clearing up any copy claims.
Just posted. As you can see, everything works normally. It used to be blocked because of the copyright claim, but
yeah, what I mentioned a little bit ago.
It was removed quickly. They acted fast, and Joe Rogan team, I appreciate that. However, if we scroll down, this happened.
Oh, this is what he's talking about. Oh, yeah, I remember watching this video on what makes an ideology left or right. It wasn't that long ago, as you can see, May 13th. I remember watching it the day that it was published, and yeah, he makes a lot of good points on what actually makes an ideology left or right. Because, as you can see, he uses the mustachioed Austrian painter in his thumbnail, which, if you try to say his name, or say the name of the ideology that is short for National Socialist, you'll get like demonetized and stuff. But here, he was making the point that even though we know what these ideologies are and their overall leanings, that doesn't necessarily make one or the other like left or right. Like, we usually think of like fascism as inherently right-leaning and communism as inherently left-leaning, even though it's a lot more nuanced than that, especially in the context of the 1940s. Like, our modern understanding of left and right is not going to be the same as their understanding of left and right. I mean, semantic shift is a thing, definitions are always changing. I mean, the word that in British English can mean cigarette butt, as well as a bundle of sticks, is, the slur for gay people. So, even in a context like that, definitions and stuff are always changing. But the fact that this is the video he was talking about. No, I watched the first few seconds and I thought he was going to talk about Zahi Hawass and Joe Rogan's debate. But the fact that this is what he's referring to is... this is going to be an interesting one.
So, I made this video, what makes a political ideology left or right, and it was a video to talk a little bit about this regime.
Yeah, because we know that people usually consider fascism to be quote-unquote right-wing, even though the National Socialists had policies that, at least in the modern day, would be considered left-leaning, like welfare programs. The National Socialists had welfare programs and the likes, among other things that would be considered left-leaning. And actually, I remember when I watched this, I was at the store and I was coming home from the store and he was reading comments from people that appreciated an earlier video that he had made about whether or not fascism was left or right. And he was reading comments that were within that video that appreciate the nuances. As I said, even they had welfare programs, which would be considered left, at least in the modern day. But obviously, people are so radicalized into one side that anything even remotely outside of that side is considered of that ideology, even though that's just not true.
But mostly what this video is, I'm not even sharing my opinions. This video was to give you the floor on the entirety of the 15 minutes, apart from a very small brief introduction where I talk about the original video, where I discuss 20th century totalitarian regimes and authoritarian regimes.
Right, and that's another thing, is that, yeah, we consider fascism to be right and communism to be left, even though both the fascists and the communists were both totalitarian regimes. And totalitarianism is not the same as authoritarianism, and both of these are usually considered right, at least in the modern day, even though the Soviets were allegedly supposed to be left, that communism is supposed to be left, at least according to the modern day. He actually mentioned within this video that the reason why the Democrats in the US are blue is because they wanted to dissociate themselves from communism. No, the Democrats were like very anti-communist, so that's why they're blue now. But of course, communism has its association with the color red, which I'm sure some of you could probably appreciate the irony in all of this and the color palettes and stuff. Apparently it's the other way around in Italy, at least in Metatron's experience, since he's from Italy. He's specifically from Palermo in Sicily. And there, the left is red and the right is blue. And this is based on how it was back then. Obviously here in the US, it's the other way around because the Democrats didn't want anything to do with communism. But today, the radical Democrats are all about communism, or at the very least socialism. But yeah, let's continue on.
From a historical standpoint, then I just read your comments. This is what this video is: 15 minutes of me reading your comments under the original video, which hit 1 million views, the one about my sort of historical analysis with a little bit of political science about the regimes. That's what it is. I'm just reading your comments. And I, of course, selected the comments. I didn't read comments that were hateful, for instance. I just selected comments that were normal, and I got a limited ad. I'll tell you what this means in a little bit if you're not familiar, but let's just put it...
I think I do know what it means. It's like, I know that people will talk about the yellow dollar sign where your ad revenue gets... It says ad suitability. I don't really know what that is. Eventually in the future I might have to deal with it.
it this way, this video is penalized when it comes to the revenue. It's not gonna make almost any money. We'll make a little bit of money, but not much in revenue. So why did this happen? If what I did, first of all, before we go into the why, which is the crazy part, guys, this is gonna go crazy, just so you know. Anyways, before we go into the why, let's talk about what I did. So I immediately asked for a manual review, because usually it's a bot that approaches the city, sees something incorrectly.
Right. I had mentioned earlier that, or he even mentions it in some of his videos where he reacts to Joe Rogan, where a bot will copy claim his reaction, but he usually contacts Joe Rogan's team, and they usually remove the copyright claim within a day. But I guess this, in relation to ad revenue, must be something different.
And then someone from YouTube will manually review it, and they will remove the flagging, and I will get the full green $sign for regular monetization. I asked, and here is what we get. Ad suitability confirmed by review. This video has been confirmed by manual reviewer as not suitable for most advertisers. It remains fully playable, blah blah blah. So this was done by a manual reviewer.
So, someone in real life reviewed this, and then they decided that it wasn't appropriate. I wonder why. I mean, I know that, like, the mainstream establishment is very left-leaning. It's no secret to anyone who's paid attention to the mainstream media that they're overtly left-leaning to a very radical degree. And considering that, like, Google and YouTube are stationed in California, which is also very left-leaning, I can imagine that whoever's reviewing this would vehemently disagree with the idea that fascism has even the slightest amount of left-wing tendencies, even though, as I mentioned earlier, the National Socialists had welfare programs, which are usually considered left-leaning. I mean, Metatron mentioned other policies that the National Socialists had that would be considered left-leaning. Welfare wasn't the only thing, but it is something that is worth considering, at least.
And I wish I could get the name, not because I want to dox anyone or say anything publicly, I would never do that, but simply because I would like to get in contact, because I don't think they did the job right. I don't.
Oh, this reminds me of the video that he made that I reacted to in a stream, where he reacted, or he read out, there was this website called Nexus Mods, I think it was called. They temporarily banned a certain mod for the Oblivion remaster that changed back the character creation, gender selection, I think. Like in the remaster, it was type 1, type 2, and there was a mod to make it male and female, and as I said, a lot of people within these spheres are very much heavily biased towards their side and whatnot. And people were very upset by the removal of the mod. I mean, the mod itself was already controversial enough, but the fact that they removed it while also keeping literally the opposite kind of thing, like replacing or modding straight characters to make them gay. The fact that they leave stuff like that in while turning type 1 and type 2 back to male and female, it's obviously one-sided favoritism.
I don't think they did the job right, because look, when we view the feedback, it is only for this section from second 4 to second 21. The
hateful and derogatory content. Oh, let's actually see. It's been a while. I mean, it hasn't been that long since I've seen the video, but it's been a while.
Rest of the video, not a problem. Not a problem for the entirety of the rest of the video, but for these few seconds, this blocked human reviewer, absolutely not. Now, I cannot play these seconds, or this video will also get a yellow $sign. So
Maybe we should go back and see exactly what was said. It's 4 to 21. Yeah, I'll include that because I'm not worried about my monetization. Obviously, Metatron has a family to provide for and a mortgage to pay. So this is a very big deal for him. But for me, I'm willing to lay down my life for the sake of his ability to provide for himself and his loved ones.
I cannot show it. So I ask you to please to form your own opinion so you don't have to believe what I'm saying. Maybe watch the original video. It's a 15 minutes video, doesn't have many views because of course it's impacted by it, and watch from second 4 to second 21. But I can tell you what I said because believe me, I reviewed it. I say absolutely nothing. I just say that on this video, I said, hello noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. On this video, I'm reviewing the comments under my original video. I say the title of the video, which includes the word N-A-Z-I.
That's probably why he got limited on his monetization. Because if you say the shorthand form of National Socialist, they will demonetize you, even if it's to a certain degree.
As M, okay? And then I say an answer from history. So I state that it's a historical analysis.
Right.
And then I just say, guys, I really like the thumbnail. I did a really good job. You're gonna give me that. I'm gonna read your comments, and then that's the end. We are already a second 21. Okay, so it's this video here, what makes a political ideology left or right, and it's a video where I'm just reading your comments. Right. So simply because I said the N-A-Z-I, because I use that word, even
yeah, he used it in a more educational context. I mean, if you're going to use words like that and it's for the sake of like education, then there's no reason for it to be equated to hate speech. That's what the little thing, when he brought it up, it said that it was monetization got limited for hate speech.
Even though it's clearly 2 seconds after I say from a historic, an answer from history, that was enough for a manual review to double down. You can't say it. Yet I can say Soviet Russia as much as I want.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I've been saying National Socialism this whole time. Socialism and communism don't get demonetized from what I can tell, which shows the immense amount of bias and radicalization within, like, this type of industry. And of course it has to be rooted in California, which is notoriously left-leaning.
I can say Stalin as much as I want.
Stalin as well.
That's not a problem. What is this? So how am I going to teach? It's not like I'm telling people that this is good.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not saying that National Socialism is great, but they're probably offended by the fact that they even dared to put the mustachioed painter here on this side, insinuating that he may have had at least some tendencies, which historically, yes, they did.
Obviously not, and it's clear. So what is this censorship based on? What are you trying to prevent? The ability to teach people the horrible things that happened in the past so that we don't repeat them? Like, this is outrageous to me. This is absolutely outrageous. I didn't do...
It's absurd. It's very absurd.
Anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong. This is my Packard and you are on private property.
And unfortunately this video is now completely prevented. Not only to almost completely prevented, it's not a red dollar sign. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. But it's definitely going to generate a lot less money, which means as creators, we are kind of discouraged from talking about history in this case, because...
Not me, though. I have a traditional job, and this is really just a hobby. But for someone like Metatron, who has made a career out of content creation like this, it's obviously a very big deal.
We get this. So imagine if this was an easy video, but imagine if I had put a lot of research onto it. And also, due to the fact that he has a yellow dollar sign, I personally don't believe that the algorithm is going to push it. In fact, 19,000 views is pretty low, as you can see, compared to my other videos.
Right.
So I would appreciate if you could check it out. I can't open it because I'm going to pull up.
I'll check it out in a moment. I've already watched this video, but we'll go to that part just so we can, not only so we can see exactly what he said across the whole thing from second 4 to 40, I think it was. We'll watch the first, like, minute of it. At least that way we'll be showing him some support.
Lock everything. But if you want to check it out and see if you think that I said anything, because did I say anything hateful and derogatory? Look, this is a specific policy on YouTube.
Yeah, that was what I was referring to earlier. He did simply saying the shorthand form of National Socialist or National Socialism is not hateful or derogatory. Now, supporting the ideology, that's different. That can be considered hateful and derogatory. But simply talking about it from an educational perspective is not at all hateful or derogatory.
I didn't break this policy. So whoever, if you're if the person who did this you're watching, okay? I probably shouldn't say what just come to my mind, but you're...
Okay, yeah, you probably shouldn't. Let's just... Yeah.
a dishonest person. Whoever did this, you're a dishonest person, and the reality is that they got offended by what the video was. They didn't like, I think, that I said something maybe that they disagreed with, and they used this.
Yep. I betcha that it's because they didn't like the fact that he actually has nuanced takes on what is considered left and right. Whoever reviewed this clearly must have some bias, massive bias, one way or the other. And they absolutely hated the fact that a moderate and centrist like Metatron here even had the audacity to take a look at history and tell it how it really is. To quote Hank Hill, in reference to Bobby wanting to eat the Christmas turkey, or no, the Thanksgiving turkey, in the episode where they get stuck at the airport. Shame on you. Shame on you both.
Their power and called my content hateful and derogatory. I challenge anyone to watch the first, from second 4 to second 21, and tell me if I was hateful and if my language was derogatory in nature.
Challenge accepted. I will watch the first 21 seconds of the video.
Hey Noble Ones, I noticed that quite a few of you watching my videos are not subscribed,
don't
guys.
worry, I'm subscribed.
Where we are.
Hold on.
Really helps the channel and the
Yeah, don't worry, Metatron, I got your back.
production.
I will help you out. We are waging a crusade against whoever the hell decided that whatever he said was hateful or derogatory. You can wage crusade, I'll wage jihad. Nah, how about that? An unlikely pair. Yeah, it's gonna be epic, and it's gonna be great.
Thank you so much. This is where we are, guys. Where we are. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, I guess I can repost it. I could repost it on another platform. I could post it on, I don't know where. I could post it on Patreon. I could post it on some other platform, but...
Nah, but Metatron, I highly doubt that you're going to watch this because, quite frankly, I want to ask permission from you first, which I probably will. Usually live streams, like 5 nights a week, I can leave a super chat so that I can help spread the word. I'm sure that he would greatly appreciate it.
That happened, my friends. That happened.
Alright, here is the video in question. What makes a political ideology left or right? And let us watch the first 20 seconds to see just how offensive whatever he said was.
Hey, number ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. Not too long ago, I made a video called Was Nazism Right Wing or Left Wing?
Well, there you go. He said the thing. But let's actually see what he said within the first 20 seconds of this video. Let's see what else he said.
An answer from history. Now, this was a very successful video. As you can see, almost 1 million views. And of course, there is 1 quintillion comments under this video. The thumbnails are great. You've got to give me that. So I thought today I would like to check out some of these comments.
Well, that was the first 21 seconds. From seconds 4 through 21. I didn't hear anything offensive, unless his... What was it that he said?
See, almost 1 million views, and of course there is 1 quintillion.
Quintillion. What are the odds that they were offended by quintillion? Saying, you lying sack of crap, that wasn't quintillion. Quintillion is too big of a number to have that many comments. What are the odds of that? Is what he was offended. This person, whoever they are. What if that's what they were offended by? The fact that you used a number that is too impossibly large to describe the amount of comments that you got on this video. And for the record, I've seen both parts of this video, so you guys don't have to worry about that.
Comments under this video. The thumbnails are great. You've got to give me that.
The thumbnail... Oh, what if they were offended by the thumbnails, saying that the thumbnails are great? What if whoever decided that you didn't need this, that you didn't need full monetization, was offended by the fact that you said that you thought the thumbnails were great? Was the person who was upset by this insinuating? Are they assuming that you are, let's call it a YT supremacist? Because there are plenty of people that unironically believe that Metatron is one of those people. They unironically believe that he is a fascist and a white supremacist. And all the other buzzwords that the radical left will spew at anyone who's even remotely close to the center. You don't even have to be center-right. Even center-left is considered ultra-far-right extremism to the far left. Let's see the last 3 seconds.
So I thought today I would like to check out some of these comments.
And what are the odds that they've read some of these comments? What are the odds that whoever decided that this wasn't worth monetization, full monetization, read the comments of this video, or even read the comments of these videos, and decided, oh, this guy is an alt-right grifter, bitch-ass motherfucker. Nah. No. I didn't find anything that was offensive. Let's go through this one more time just to make sure that we didn't mishear anything, because Lord knows.
Too long ago I made a video called Was Nazism Right-Wing or Left-Wing? An Answer from History. Now, this was a very successful video. As you can see, almost 1 million views, and of course there is 1 quintillion comments under this video. The thumbnails are great. You've got to give me that. So I thought today I would like to check out some of these comments and see what you guys think.
I didn't see anything. He mentioned the N-word right here. We're just gonna call, I've been calling it National Socialism because that's literally what it means. He mentioned quintillion, which I made a joke about. He mentioned how much he liked these thumbnails. And then he mentioned reading some of the comments. But I didn't really hear anything that was particularly offensive, unless you were offended by the fact that he likes the thumbnails. If you're going to be offended by something like that, maybe you should just quit your job. I'm not going to... That probably came out wrong, but I'm just saying, if you're going to be like that, fine, whatever. But guess what? You may have won the battle, but the war has only just begun. Deus vult. Or I guess Deus vult in ecclesiastical. Inshallah, we will triumph over political extremism. To all the noble ones out there, to the Arya as they would be called in Sanskrit. Although I probably shouldn't use that word considering that it's the origin of Aryan, but poor choice of words. I might leave that in the video anyway, but regardless, yeah, don't worry, Metatron. I got your back, and we're not gonna let these guys get away with it. Well, anyway, that was it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again.